Test number 6, section 4, number 21 through 38. 21. A study was done on the weights of different types of fish in the pond. A random sample of fish were caught and marked in order to ensure that none were weighted more than once. The sample contained 150 largemouth bass, of which 30% weighed more than 2 pounds. Which of the following conclusion is best supported by the sample data? A. The majority of all fish in the pond weighs less than 2 pounds. They only had a sample of largemouth bass, so we cannot say anything about all fish in the pond, right? The average weight of all fish in the pond is approximately 2 pounds. No, it says 30% weighted more than 2 pounds. So we cannot say anything about the average weight. C, approximately 30% of all fish in the pond weighed more than 2 pounds. Again, not all fish. We can only talk about the largemouth bass. So approximately 30% of the largemouth bass in the pond weighed more than 2 pounds. Approximately. Yes, that is true. That's exactly what they said, right? 30% weighed more than 2 pounds, so it is D. 22. Number of states with 10 or more electoral votes in 2008 is given. In 2008, there are 21 states with 10 or more electoral votes. As shown in the table above, based on the table, what was the median, the middle number of electoral votes for 21 states? So if there are 21 states, the middle one will be when you divide by 2, it's 10.5. So it is the votes for the 10th and the 11th one. And if they're not the same, then you have to find the average of these two. So if I start from the bottom, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11th votes are all in here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it is 15. Right, they're all in 15, so the median is 15. 23. As part of the experiment, a ball was dropped and allowed to bounce repeatedly off the ground until it comes to rest. The graph above represents the relationship between the time elapsed after the ball was dropped and the height of the ball above the ground. So the height drops, right? So how many times was the ball at height of 2? Height of 2. How many times? 1, 2, 3. So 3 times. So it is C. 24. A customer's monthly water bill was $75.74 due to a rate increase. Her monthly bill is now $79.86. To the nearest tenth of the percentage, what percentage did the amount of the customer's water bill increase? So from 75.74, how much did it increase? So you have to just divide by the total amount of the previous bill. So it increased 79.86 minus 75.74. When you subtract the bill from the second bill, you can see how much it decreased. No, did it increase? Yeah, how much did it increase? So you have to subtract from 79.86 minus 75. So from this, right? So 79, or can we do it by hand? So it will be 1.4 from 75 the original, right? So 4.12 divided by 75.74. You get times 100 to get the percentage. You get 5.439. So 5.4 when you round it. Yes. 25. Some values of the linear function f are shown. So linear means has the same different rate of change. So if you're looking for when x is 3, so what is it increasing by? 6. How much did the x increase? 2. So it's changing y over changing x for the rate of change. So it's 6 over 2, so it is increasing by 3. So 3x plus, and the y-intercept was -2. So here's your equation for f of x. So now you plug it in 3, so it's 3 times 3 minus 2, which is 7. 9 minus 2 is 7. B. 26. A gear ratio R to S is the ratio of the number of teeth of 2 connected gears. The ratio of the number of revolutions per minute, so how many times it turns per minute of 2 gear wheels is S to R. In the diagram below, gear A turned by a motor. The turning of gear A caused the gear B and C to turn as well, okay? So it has the same angular velocity. If gear A is rotated by the motor at a rate of 100 revolutions, so 100 revolution per minute, that means each minute there are 20 teeth, so it has 2,000, you have to multiply it, right? So that's how many times it turns, but each turn it has 20 teeth. So it's 2,000 teeth per minute, right? So the question is, what is the number of revolution per minute for gear C? So gear C has 10 teeth. So what do you do now? You do 2,000 divided by 10 teeth to get the revolution per minute, because it total turns 2,000, but it has 10, so you have to divide by 10, so you get 200 revolution per minute, which is C. 27, in the xy plane, the graph of 2x squared minus 6x plus 2y squared plus 2y equals to 45 is a circle. What is the radius of the circle? So this one, you have to remember the equation of a circle. It is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals to r squared. H and k is the center. But we are not interested in the center. We just want to know the radius, which you'll get on the right-hand side. You have to square root it to get the radius. So what you need to do from here is you have to complete the square. But in order to complete the square, we have to make the coefficient of x squared and y squared 1. So let's divide the whole thing by 2. So I get x squared minus 3x plus y squared plus y equals to 22.5, right? Divide everything by 2. So now what you need to do is complete the square. So how do you complete the square? It's x squared minus 3x plus c. But how do you get the c number? It's always b divided by 2 squared, if you remember it. So this c will be negative 3 divided by 2 squared. So it is 1.5 squared. I'm not going to put negative because any negative squared becomes also positive. So it's 2.25. And you have to remember, if you add that to one side, you have to add that to the other side, right? You have to add 2.25. And here for y, it's y squared plus y plus c again. And what's b? It's 1. The b is the coefficient of x. So here it's 1 over 2, right? Over 2, c equals 2, b over 2 squared, 1 over 2 squared. So that's 0.5 squared, which is 0.25. You have to add 0.25. Then you have to add 0.25 on the other side to make it still equal. So if I were to show you how to complete this square, is that it's x minus half of b, 1.5, square equals to this, plus y half of b plus half square is how you can factor this. And now it equals to what? 22.5 plus 2.25 plus 0.25. You get 225. So this is r squared. 225, right? That's the equation of a circle. So now what do? You square root that. So you get 15? Yes. So r equals to 15. Oh. No. I think the reason is that we have 45. Oh, I think I put extra 2 in there. So 22.5 plus 2.25 plus 0.25. Yes, it equals to 25. I'm sorry, it's not 225, it's 25. So when you square root it, you get 5, right? I accidentally put 225 instead of 22. I mean, 3 2's instead of 2 2's. So it is 5. 5 is the answer. 28. 2 different points on the number line are both 3 units from the point with the coordinate of -4. So from -4, it's 3 units away. So this is like an absolute value. If you remember the formula, it's x minus where you start. So it's -4, and it has to be less or exactly equal to 3. So it is +4. If you're not sure, you can just plug in numbers. So here, -4, if you add 3, it is -1, and here's -7. So plug it in and see which one gives you 3. -7 minus 4 is not 3. -7 plus 4 is -3. Absolute value of that is 3. So you can do that or remember this. This is where the point you start, and this is the distance in both directions. So it is A. 29. A motor powers a model car so that after starting from rest, the car travels S inches in T second. So the speed is, so distance over time, so it's the speed is S inches in time, okay? Where S equals to that, what is the following given average speed? So if you're still looking for this, but they gave you S. S is 16t square root of t, and you have to divide by time. So you get 16 square root of t. B. The scatter plot below shows the amount of electronic energy generated in millions of megawatts hour by a nuclear source over a 10-year period. Okay, good. So what's the question? Of the following equation, which best models the data in the scatter plot? So it looks like a parabola, and its y-intercept must be around 740 positive. So it can be negative, must be positive. And it's parabola going down, so it has a negative slope. Negative x squared, so it must be d, right? Parabola x squared, positive x squared looks like this, right? So you can just look at where it hits the y-axis and the shape of the parabola. If it opens up, positive, opens down, negative. A group of friends decide to divide the 800 costs of a trip equally among themselves. So, okay, 800 divided by number of people. When 2 of the friends decide not to go on the trip, those remaining 2 divided by 800 costs equally, but each friend's share of the cost increased by 20. So, first, if we say the number of students are X, when we divided 800 divided by X, that was the original cost, but it increased by 20 now because now we are dividing 800 by X minus 2. 2 less 2, right? 2 less than how many there were. So we just got to find X for this one. You know, we have X minus 2 here, so it's hard to do it by hand. So I'll just plug into the calculator. So it should be in regular function mode. So I'll just put, what should we put? Let me just move this or let's move these to the other side. So it will be now minus, right? Minus and minus equals to 0, okay? You see how it was plus plus? If you move to the other side, it becomes minus. So it is 800 divided by x minus 2. 800 divide x minus 2 minus 800 divided by x minus 20. So now zoom 6, I don't know. Oh, so here we get a negative answer and positive answer. So we are interested in this. So let's look at the second graph and table. So when does y become 0? Right, we set the equation equal to 0. So when x was 10. So 10 people. You can plug into the equation to double check. So 800 divided by, now 10 minus 2 was 8. So that's $100. So now 800 divided by 10 will be 80. So it was 20 more. So we found x correctly. X is 10 people. What values of x satisfies the equation above? So this one you can plug into the calculator, or we can easily distribute it. So it's 10x minus 40 minus 15. If it's minus, make sure you distribute to both, all the terms in the parentheses, minus 8x equals to 7. So 10x minus 8x is 2x. So that is negative 40 minus 15 is negative 55 equals to 7. So add 55. So I get 2x equals to 62. So now you divide by 2. 2x equals to 31. Are we solving for x? Yes. So 31. A laboratory supply company produces a graduated cylinder, each with an initial ratio of 2 inches. So radius of 2 inches, it's a cylinder. Radius is 2. And the internal height is between 7.75 and 8 inches. What is the one possible value rounded to the nearest cubic inches of the graduate cylinder? So it's from 7.75 to 8. So can we do, let's say, 7.8 to be safe? So how do you find the area of a cylinder? It is if they have the same basis, like prism, it's always area of the base times height. So area of the base of a circle is pi r squared times height, 7.8. So it is pi times radius was again 2. So 2 squared times 7.8, that is 4 pi, 2 squared, times 7.8. So when you round it to the nearest cubic inches, it is 98. There are other possible answers, but 98 must be also correct. The line with the inequality 4 over 5x plus 1 over 3y equals to 1 is graphed in xy plane. What is the x-coordinate of the x-intercept of a line? So x-intercept means what? When y equals to what? 0, right? Whenever it hits y, x, that is when y equals to 0. So plug it in 0 for y. So then I get 4/5 x plus 0 equals to 1. So for y, multiply the reciprocal of the fraction. Do the same thing on the other side. So you get x equals to 5 over 4. Okay. 36. Andrew and Maria each collected 6 rocks, and the mass of the rocks are shown in the table above. The mean of the mass of the rock Maria collected, so mean is the average, right? You add them all and divide by 6 rocks, is 0.1 greater than the mean of the mass of the rocks Andrew collected. So 0.1 more than Andrew's average. So let's find the average of Andrew's. So you add them all. So 2.4 plus 2.5 plus 3.6 plus 3.1 plus 2.5 plus 2.6. Let's double check. 2.4, 2.5, 3.6, 3.1, 2.5, 2.7. And hit enter. Add them first and then divide by 6. Don't try to divide by 6 at the same time. So here it's 2.8. So it says Maria has 0.1 kilogram greater than the mean of Andrew. So it should be 2.9, right? Add 0.1. So now what do? So 2.9, the average equals to x plus the sum of the rest, right? And you divide by 6. So let me get this number, which is at sum of the other three. 3.1 plus 3, 2.7 plus 2.9 plus 3.3 plus 2.8. Let's double check. 301, 3.1, 27, 29, 33, 28. So that is 14.8. So 14.8. So now you solve for x. So multiply by 6 on both sides to get rid of the denominator. So 6 times 2.9 is 17.4 equals to x plus 14.8. So now subtract 14.8. I get 2.6. X is 2.6. And we were looking for the x, so it is 2.6. Jeremy deposited X dollars in his investment account on January 1st, 2001. The amount of the money in the account doubles each year. So here's the initial value and here's the rate. And each year it doubles, so time goes on top, right? It's an exponential function because it gets multiplied by 2. So it has a common ratio. Jeremy had $480 in his investment account on January 2005. So it became 480 in how many years? 4 years, right? From 2001 to 2005. So the t was 4. So now you're looking for x. So let's find what 2 to the 4th power is, 16. So x times 16 is 480. So divide by 16 from both sides, you get 30. 480 divided by 16. 480 divided by 16 is 30. So x was 30. So that's a lot. He started with only 30, but there's no account that doubles the initial deposit. But with these given information, it was 30 to start with and made 480. That's awesome, isn't it? I wish we had one in real life like that. So last question. A school district is forming a committee to discuss plans for construction of a new high school. Of this invited to join the committee, 15% were parents of students and 45% were teachers from the current high school. 25 were school and district administrators. And the remaining 6 individuals were students. So what percentage was that? Let me see. How many more teachers were invited to join the committee than the school and district administrators? So we have to actually find the number of them. So there are 15% parents, 45% teachers, and 25% schools and district administrators, admin. And there are some percentage for students, and it was only 6 of them. So out of 100, what was the students' percentage? So 100 minus 15, minus 45, minus 25 will give you 15. So 15% were student, and it was 6 of them. So if there were a total number of x times 0.15, which is 15%, equals to 6, right? So what was the total number then? Divide by 1.15, 0.15 from both sides. 6 divided by 0.15 is 40. So there were a total of 40 people. So what are we looking at? We want to know the difference between teachers compared to the admin, right? So it's 40 times 0.45. The number of teachers were 18. 40 times 0.25, which is quarter of it, so 10. So how many more teachers were there than the admin? 8 more, right? 18 minus 10 is 8.